The games industry can be a strange place at times. Just ask Jeff Minter, who found himself on the wrong side of a lawsuit when he went to port his PS Vita hit TXK to other consoles. Atari alleged that the retro-styled shoot-'em-up was too similar to Tempest and even used my review as evidence. Seriously! But in a twist I certainly didn't see coming, the lawsuit made way for a brand new, official sequel called Tempest 4000. And while part of me still wants to hold a grudge against Atari for using my words as a weapon, I have to admit that this brilliant shooter is one of the best games I've played this year. From the moment you press start, there's no mistaking that this is a Tempest game. It has the same vector-style look, uses the same music, and even offers up some of the same level designs. Jeff Minter and his team at Llamasoft didn't set out to reinvent the franchise or give it a brand new facelift, but rather to create the craziest and best-looking Tempest game yet. And let me tell you, they've certainly accomplished that. I doubt you're gonna find a faster and more chaotic shooter released in 2018. The structure is almost exactly like that of TXK. The game is broken up into 100 bite-sized stages where we guide the Claw spacecraft along the side of a whole bunch of differently shaped geometric prisms. Along the way, players will pick up power-ups that boost their fire rate, allow them to jump, and even create a helpful AI droid, all in a desperate hope to clear the stage of every bad guy and move on to the next shape. Of course, none of this is as easy as it sounds. The 100 stages are filled with many types of enemies, each with their own deadly attacks. The early enemies will do their best to grab hold and drag our yellow hero down the 3D tube to the dark emptiness of space. On the other hand, later enemies include bullheads that launch their horns and flower blooms that create spikes. We'll run into enemies that'll split into two when they get killed, as well as foes that electrify one of the lanes of the tube. There's just too many different types of enemies to list here, but players will need to memorize the patterns of every one of them if they intend to complete this lengthy shooter. Although I keep referring to the tubes in each stages, the truth is that many levels do not feature traditional tubes. There are plenty of levels that are a flat line or take the shape of the letter U. Many stages will move around, changing shapes right in the middle of a tense firefight. The levels in Tempest 4000 shake, rotate, expand, and morph into different designs, all in the hopes of messing with the player. And messing with the player is definitely what they do. There are chaotic shoot-'em-ups, and then there's Tempest 4000. Between the bullets, explosions, particles, and the outer space-themed backgrounds, there's a lot coming at you at once. It's incredibly easy to get distracted or confused by everything going on, especially when the game starts messing with the art style. A lot of this game is about focusing on your character and doing everything in your power to tune out the rest of the clutter. That's not always easy to do, and the newer, deadlier enemies are there to make things even tougher. It's also fast, blindingly fast at times. It doesn't take much for a yellow guy to whip around the level, no matter the size. Your first instinct may be to recklessly spin around the edge of the tube, constantly shooting and hoping for the best. But as satisfying as that is, it's not gonna get you very far. Even with the action moving so quickly, precision is paramount when it comes to staying out of trouble. And while jumping may seem like a great way to avoid nearby enemies, that too is fraught with peril. The only thing that'll help you is a steady hand and learning to pay attention to every inch of the stage. Now, much like the past sequels, both official and not, Tempest 4000 throws you into a brief minigame between levels. This is one of the only things I disliked about this game. On the PlayStation 4, you have to tilt and turn the controller to aim at the targets, which I found to be hard to position correctly. The transitions and bonus rounds have never been that good in Tempest, so it's a shame they couldn't figure out something more compelling for these in-between bits. I think you can also make the argument that Tempest 4000 isn't all that different from TXK. Don't get me wrong, there are different levels and enemies in this new game, but everything else feels practically the same. The same power-ups, moving stages, and 100-level structure. There isn't anything here that makes the game feel dramatically different, which may frustrate fans looking for the series to evolve. Personally, I think there's a good mix of new and old, and it's just nice to have an official Tempest sequel on modern consoles. Although the fast-paced gameplay and chaotic levels may look daunting at first, Tempest 4000 ends up being a ridiculously exciting shooter that is accessible and easy to get into. It has a frenetic energy that kept me glued to the screen, even when the game introduces the tough new bad guys. And while it doesn't break new ground or evolve the formula in any meaningful way, it does give us the best looking and playing version of Tempest we've seen yet. I sincerely hope we don't have to wait another 18 years for Tempest 5000. Hey, thanks for watching our review. So here's the question I have for you. What's your favorite Atari franchise? Between the new stuff and their old school classics, Atari actually has quite a few noteworthy franchises, including Paperboy, Gauntlet, Area 51, Pole Position, and more. Let me see your picks in the comments below. By the way, the stuff about Atari using my review to attack Jeff Minter is not a joke. I posted a whole video chronicling the ordeal, which I'll link right now. It's a good companion piece to this review. In other news, we'll be back later this week with a review of Gene Rain. So I recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,